G'day Tiger fans, welcome to Raw Vision and the opposition analysis for round 14. It's the Brisbane Lions at the MCG on Saturday afternoon, and to have a look at the Lions, I'm joined by assistant coach Ross Smith. Thanks for coming up, Ross.
Thanks, Richard.
Mate, the players should feel nice and fresh. They had a few days off over the break last week.
Yeah, got them 4 days off after the game and got them back in Friday and Saturday for a bit of a run around, but they all need a break this time of year for their niggles and their little bruises, so hopefully they're a lot better this week.
There's probably a few players though that would like to keep playing, players that are in good nick.
Yeah, that's true, and often when you come back from a break you're a little bit slow starting, so there's some players who really struck form that probably didn't need the break necessarily, but others certainly needed it.
Yeah, they certainly do. Let's have a look at the Daycore match-up for this week, and we're going to go with the ruckman this week. Ross, Sean Hampson, I think he's in career best form. We heard him talking earlier in the week, and Stephen Martin, I reckon he's just starting to find some form. Yeah,
getting back to the form he sort of showed the last few years, and hopefully we can just curb him a little bit, but we've certainly got the right man for the job at the moment. He's in stellar form, Sean, giving us a lot of first use to our midfield, and he's been fantastic for us in the middle.
I guess the challenge for Sean is to cover Stephen around the ground. He is a very good runner.
Good mobile ruckman, and certainly will test his engine out this week.
He certainly will. Well, I love the way Mitch Robinson plays. He's a real hard nut, and I guess in a tough year for the Brisbane Lions, this guy's really stood up, particularly the last month. Ross, he's averaged 29 disposals, but he's doing some massive jobs on the opposition's midfielders.
Certainly is. He's going to the most valuable players and doing a great job. Not only doing a great job at stopping them, but getting a lot of the footy himself, as you said. 30 touches on average, I think, the last month. It's nice when you go into those top players. They're certainly going to take you to the ball.
They are. Matty Priddisy did the job on last week against the Eagles. I mean, he doesn't get shut down very often, so that's a big job.
No, and it's going to be interesting to see where he goes this week.
Do you think it'll be Martin or Cochin?
Well, I suppose if you're going to go on strictly on form right now, it's probably Martin's form for us has been. I'm not sure where we would have finished last week if we didn't have Dusty in the side. He was so powerful for us. So if he goes to Dusty, it's going to be a very fiery contest, I reckon. But obviously Danny Daly being there as well, he'd probably be keen to shut Koch down as well. So we're not sure where he'll go, but he'll certainly probably tag one of those two. Yeah,
I think he'll definitely be one of those two. I was watching the Brisbane game last week, and one thing they are doing, that having a heap of disposals, 110 more touches than the Eagles, but they went down by over 5 goals. What have you noticed about the way they're playing?
They're certainly using the ball, sharing the ball a little bit more down back. They've gone from probably number 15 or 16 for marks in the back half to number 1 over the last couple of weeks in particular. They started a little bit against Carlton, so whether they continue down that road or they try and be a little bit more direct this week, I'd probably bank on them being a little bit more direct than they have been the last 2 weeks. I think West Coast and Freo are pretty good defensive sides. Have probably forced them into it a little bit, but they also need to be getting that ball down the other end a little bit more, so we're conscious of that.
Not many teams would be doing that by design, would they, going backwards and forwards? I mean, that's just the opposition pushing down.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a fair bit to do with it. West Coast are pretty good at pressing in.
Yeah, as we can see here, the Dockers did it really well also. One player that started off in red-hot nick last week, Daniel Ritchie's first quarter was outstanding, and he's really damaging, and then the Eagles put Hutchings onto him. Is that something you'd look at doing on this guy?
Yeah, possibly. We always keep that in the kit. We don't necessarily like to go into a game with hard tags. We like to keep our structure strong, and certainly you've got to watch certain guys at stoppies as well. But this guy's so damaging, certainly by foot as well. He can kick the ball fairly long, but he's actually got some quite good touch and ball use, as we see right there. So really important cog. They've got some really good players. Really, really good quality players. 10 or 12 of them. So we need to be mindful of them.
Does the opposition, having Lepper and Danny Daly there, does that give them any, it has to give them some insight into how we're playing, or have we changed a bit since then?
We haven't changed a lot. I don't think either side's probably changed too much. They've been gone a couple of years now, but they'll have a little bit of an idea how we coach, I reckon.
Well, thanks for that, Ross.
No worries. Good luck, Richard.
There you go. There's the opposition analysis. The Lions on Saturday Arvo at the G. We'll see you there.